If you're making decent money, but you still feel broke, or at the end of each month you have very little left over, then the problem isn't necessarily how much you earn, but it may have to do with your attitude and behavior towards money. See, the misconception a lot of people have is they believe once they make more money, then their financial problems will disappear. But in actual fact, even many high earners live paycheck to paycheck and struggle to keep on top of their finances, not because they're bad with money, but they simply overlook key factors in how they manage and approach money. Hi everyone, my name is Shuaib and I've been working as a corporate analyst with over 10 years experience in both the private and public sector. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about 7 money mistakes that are keeping you broke. Also, if this is your first time here, please make sure to like and subscribe as it helps to grow the channel and enables me to bring more content like this to you. Mistake number 1, lifestyle inflation. As soon as you get a pay rise, you start spending more money. You upgrade your phone or move into an expensive apartment and start eating out more frequently. For some, what's even worse is that your new spending habits outstrip the rise and now you're in a worse financial position than before. See, instead of focusing on trying to look rich and keep up appearance, the objective should be having a lifestyle that is sustainable. You shouldn't be building up credit card debts to fund extravagant purchases, as these eventually will catch up and it will be more trouble than you can imagine. If your spending is more than your income, you'll never get ahead and will always be playing catch up. I understand it can be really tempting, especially with everything you see on social media. However, you have to be disciplined and look at things from a long-term perspective rather than instant gratification. Mistake number 2, not tracking your money. It sounds obvious, but many people have no idea the amount of money they spend each month. Even though it's so much easier these days to keep track, as most people receive their salary through a bank account. Most banking apps even allow you to download a table or a chart showing clearly where your money is going. Now, why is that important? Well, it allows you to get an oversight of your spending habits. I'm sure there are gym memberships, Netflix subscriptions, or other monthly payments that you either do not use or are not unnecessary, and they add up very fast. You don't need a complicated budget. It can be very simple. The key thing is you need to be aware and take action. Here's a really useful tip. For the next 30 days, track your spending. See where your money goes. I'm sure there will be things you're buying that you don't need. I'm not suggesting you live a frugal life. What I am suggesting is you live a responsible one. Mistake number 3, using credit cards to maintain your lifestyle. Now, there are instances where credit cards are beneficial as it allows you to build your credit score so that if you are looking to buy a house, lenders would give you better rates on your mortgage. However, using credit cards to fund a lifestyle is a clear red flag. Credit cards are not free money. You eventually have to pay it back. Also, for some, it leads to reckless spending habits. Due to the fact that you're not handing over physical cash, psychologically you don't feel it immediately and end up spending more and building up a bigger debts. The most obvious problem with credit cards is that the interest rates on them are astronomical, and these charges can eat away at your other gains you've made elsewhere. Mistake number 4, no emergency fund. Now you might think I don't need an emergency fund. Things are okay at the moment. But that's the issue. Things are okay until something goes wrong. And when things do go wrong, you're forced to go into debt or break into other savings. That's why having an emergency fund is not an option. It is a vital part of good money management. The question often asked is, how much should my emergency fund be? Well, it depends on your circumstance. But typically, you should aim to have at least 3 months and build up to 6 months. Meaning, in the event you lose your job or you have unexpected costs, you should be able to go 3 to 6 months where all your bills and expenses are covered. Hopefully, in that time, you would have made other arrangements. Again, you're creating a plan in place that covers you in case things do go wrong. Mistake number 5, to confuse income with wealth. Income is what you make, whereas wealth is what you keep and build on. If you stop working tomorrow, how long can you survive? See, I'm sure there are a lot of high earners who earn a high salary, but after all costs, not a lot is left. That's why those who seek to build wealth focus on owning things rather than working for things. An obvious example would be owning an asset like a rental property that gives you a monthly income, or becoming a business owner where your ability to generate money extend beyond the number of hours you can work. By focusing on building wealth opposed to just building income changes how you look at money, because now you're looking at things that generate money rather than things that lose money. So you're not going to buy that brand new car from the showroom which loses the value the moment you drive out. Instead, you're looking to invest that money, which leads to mistake number 6, not investing your money. You've put your money in a bank account. You're getting a return most likely below the rate of inflation. You don't want to invest because you're scared you lose your money or you think it's gambling. Truth is, you haven't educated yourself when it comes to investing. Think of it this way. If you work for an organization, most likely you put your money into a pension scheme, hoping to get a return later on in life. What do you think the pension company does with your money? They invest it. Now, depending on your tolerance to risk, the money is generally invested across different asset classes. These would include stocks and bonds. Why not do this yourself? By investing, you allow your money to grow in real terms than putting it in a bank account. Investing is one of the most common things wealthy people do. And what makes it so good is the reality of compounding, especially if you start early. And with so many online platforms, it is now easier than ever before. You shouldn't delay this, as it should be one of the key building blocks in your journey to financial freedom. Lastly, mistake number 7, no clear financial goals. So you're investing and building your wealth. However, there isn't an end game. I appreciate at different stages in one's life, priorities change. However, having a goal or plan not only gives you purpose, but it helps you put in the work and effort needed to achieve those goals, not only in financial terms, but in other areas. One of the reasons why people quit is because they don't have something to aim for. There isn't a purpose. Now, your purpose can be whatever you want it to be, whether this is financial freedom, security, or wanting to eventually travel the world. What is important is that you have a purpose. Finally, making more money won't fix these 7 mistakes, but fixing these mistakes will change your life, even if your income stays the same. Maybe a good approach is to focus on 1 or 2 in the beginning and work your way through the rest. You'll definitely see change. And on that note, if you found the video useful, make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.